This is CBS LA at 6.
Southern California emphasizing gratitude for farm workers as we celebrate Cesar Chavez Day. It actually becomes Farm Workers Day. Plus, we have questions remaining on how to cultivate selective and collective strength amid the face of diversity. And shifting narratives in the wake of controversy. New stories of those previously left out now being told. Tonight at 6, Si se puede, after Chavez. Si se puede is the rallying cry of the farm workers movement, and it means, yes, we can. Good evening, everyone. I'm Pat Harvey, live in downtown LA at La Plaza de Cultura y Artes. This is a community hub where people celebrate Latino history and culture through art, music, and dance. In fact, this exhibit pays tribute to an LA street from 100 years ago. We're here dedicating this newscast to the newly created Farm Workers Day and the future of the movement. And we begin tonight with CBS LA's Luz Delia Caballero. She's live in Ventura County talking to farm workers themselves. Luz Delia.
Well, the farm workers we spoke to say this day isn't just a symbolic gesture. It's also a moment of visibility, a chance, they say, for people to really think about and learn about the reality of what goes into the food that ends up on their table, and also learn more about the people who make it possible. Clearly, you don't see any farm workers out on the field here in Ventura County. That's because they get an early start so that you all can have food on your table. Before the sun rises, they're already here.
It's really difficult to do what they do, and they still do it.
Bent over rows of crops, farm workers move with quiet determination, hands weathered, backs aching, pushing through long hours, sometimes in unforgiving conditions.
Bending over all day, extreme weather, and too cold in the morning or too hot around the midday.
Jesus Marmolejo with Marmolejo Farms King Produce says the work is demanding.
You have to move, because you have to, try to get as much as you can. So it is very difficult.
Es todo difícil.
Many, like Germán Sánchez Peredo, are immigrants carrying not just the weight of the harvest, but also the weight of responsibility, of sacrifice, of hope for something better.
El cuerpo se desgasta.
They tell us the work is honest, but it takes a toll. Essential, but often invisible. That's why this new designation, Farm Workers Day, feels deeply personal. So how does it feel to have a day where farm workers are recognized? ¿Cómo se siente tener un día donde los agricultores tienen reconocimiento?
Oh, pues, nos sentimos muy contentos.
A recognition, not just of labor, but of humanity.
It was overdue. I've been dreaming about this. We deserve that. We need that respect.
The farm workers' rights movement has always been powered by courage, by people willing to endure, to speak out, to demand dignity in the face of injustice.
In California, half are legal residents and half are non-legal residents that come and go. But all of them have the one thing in common. They want to feed their families.
And while this moment honors that legacy, it also shines a light on what hasn't changed.
We should be fighting for wages.
Marmolejo sits on the board of Friends of Field Workers and says they continue to fight for those working in the fields.
So we're here to help the farm working community with a bunch of programs.
In every field, every row picked by hand, there's pride. Pride in feeding a nation. Pride in work that, despite everything, continues. The fight is far from over.
Oh, no, it's just beginning.
La lucha sigue.
And some farm workers we spoke to say they actually continue living and working in fear, petrified that ICE agents may come to their workplace. So they tell us that they come to work happily and with pride because they understand the responsibility they have in feeding our nation and also the necessity they have to pay their bills. If you would like to celebrate Farm Workers Day, they encourage you to donate to organizations that help farm workers directly. In Ventura County, Luz Delia Caballero, CBS LA.
And to talk more about the future of this movement, I'm joined live by Angelica Salas, the executive director of CHERLA, who's been at the helm for almost 3 decades. And thank you so much, first of all, for being with us, Angelica. You work so closely with the immigrant community, all being targeted by raids. And now with the demise of Cesar Chavez, how does the community move forward?
Well, first and foremost, I think this is an opportunity for us to focus on the people. The movement, the farm worker movement, is about farm workers, and it's the people, men and women, who labor every single day in the fields of California, but in the fields throughout this nation. Many of them are immigrants. Many of them don't have immigration status because it's been 40 years since there is an opportunity to legalize their status. They don't get the wages they deserve. They don't get the treatment they deserve. Every day they help put food on our table, yet their wages don't allow them to put food on their very own table and take care of their families. So this is an opportunity for us to focus on farm workers and how we as a society can actually advance their well-being, because that's the real recognition that is needed for farm workers.
We're trying to do what we can through this broadcast today, Angelica, but my question to you, how do activists ensure that the urgent mission for immigrant workers and farm workers' rights remains a priority for the public? Because, of course, right now we're talking about Cesar Chavez, the scandal, the controversy. How do you get the public still involved and still listening to the mission of the farm workers?
Well, one of the things that is important about the United Farm Worker Movement, and what I learned from many, many of the leaders that make up that movement, including Dolores Huerta, now Teresa Romero, so many others, and it's really about engaging everybody in their civic duty, to engage their elected officials, not to let people live in the shadows or without the representation that they deserve and without the wages they deserve. So part of the farm worker movement was about engaging the entire public in actually building up consciousness and using your voice, whether it's in public protest or whether it's calling your members of Congress, going up to Sacramento, working in order for people to have the wages they deserve, and not to accept all this mistreatment of our people. There are people who are marching who are not immigrants. There are people who are marching who are not farm workers around this country, marching so that we can all live with dignity and the respect we deserve as human beings. It is not acceptable that you have farm workers who are taking care of Americans so that we can have food on our table, and yet they fear going out into the fields, who have been chased by ICE agents in the fields. So it's about speaking up, and that's what the farm worker movement is about. It's about engaging and organizing and working together as a community to advance the rights of farm workers.
And very quickly, you are confident that you can keep that message going forward, and keep the message front and center as to what the mission is about for farm workers?
Well, the movement is multifaceted, and it's also a leaderful movement. It's a movement that seeks to advance the rights of all Americans, but it also seeks to focus on the most vulnerable people in our country.
All right, thank you so much, Angelica, for joining us this afternoon. We have more to talk about here. UCLA is one of the many local institutions moving forward. The Chicano Studies Department decided to remove Cesar Chavez's name, and CBS LA's Juan Fernandez talked to founding director Raul Hinojosa about the decision and the path ahead.
Now, you described your department's unanimous vote as painful but necessary. Can you take us through some of the internal dialogue that took place to get to this decision?
Right. And I was very proud of the faculty and the students that as soon as the news hit, we knew what we had to do. We had to condemn the actions and, more importantly, stand on the side of the victims, because this is the critical issue of accountability, that we were with the women, including Dolores, who had come out and with bravery made their statements. And even though they, I think we're all fully aware that this was going to destroy the reputation of an important icon, and at the same time understand, put it in the context so our students could understand, this is somebody obviously that we created a whole set of curriculum around his teaching.
So many young students idolized, so many of us have Cesar Chavez's work. How does this affect the movement moving forward?
you know, what we've said about Cesar Chavez, he had a very famous quote, which is that once you educate the people, you can't uneducate them. Once you're empowering them, you can't make them go back. And this is exactly what happened here. This is the people having critical consciousness, demanding accountability, going forward, regardless, even if it's him, if it's anybody. And that's what I was very proud that that's the sentiment inside the faculty and the students. And the other thing that was very important is that this was never about one person. It never will be about one person. This is about the movements, mass movements of many people struggling and fighting for social justice, and that's what we are recommitted to. So we took the name off. This is not an erasure of the struggle. This is, on the contrary, this is an affirmation that accountability comes first, and in this world today, we need more and more accountability, and I think we were leading by our principles.
You mentioned the labor movement is not just one single person, so how do we teach the success of the United Farm Workers while being transparent about what happened here?
Well, easy. I mean, I think the farm workers' story is such a powerful story, and it continues the incredible strides that were made here in California. Many of the students in the Chicano Studies and Central American Studies Department, their parents were farm workers. They understand that, or their family members. So, you know, this is if anything, a recommitment. A demystification. This is not about great men theory of history. This is about everyday struggles of people demanding social justice, and more importantly, winning and making change. And that's not going to be erased. That's going to be empowered.
So many have shifted away from Cesar Chavez Day to Farm Workers Day. Did you agree with that?
I thought that was great. I think that you know, we're in solidarity. What I really liked about what happened is that it was literally within 24 hours that the entire country it got it right. I mean, especially in the context of other demands for accountability that are being stalled. Let's put it that way. You know, this was this is the way you do it. If it's clear, you move forward.
Si se puede. After Chavez, our coverage continues this evening. The questions about adding new chapters to a complex history without tearing up old ones. And then Danny on tap with a chance for rain tomorrow. Danny.
Hi, Pat. Hey, Pat. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, it's looking and feeling different outside. Cooler than yesterday. And check this out. Tomorrow's going to be even cooler. And we've got a next weather alert to talk about because we're going to see our first rain in a month and a half. We're going to time out the rain in your neighborhood. That's coming up next.
America's turning 250.
Our series, US A to Z, explores the iconic stories that define our nation.
Thursday on CBS Mornings.
See you there.
Peter Van here. You know, I thought growing up would be the worst, but then I found a way to hack adulthood. It's called AAA. With AAA, I'm covered from roadside to poolside, and insurance and member perks that make adulting a breeze. With AAA, it pays to be a member.
Tom Steyer. When he says he's going to tax big corporations and the billionaires who own them, he means it. He'll close the Trump property tax loophole that costs our state billions. Standing with unions to fund quality schools and single-payer guaranteed health care. And he'll take on Trump.
Because I've been in enough corporate boardrooms to know a crook when I see one.
And fight to abolish ICE.
No, I want to demolish ICE.
Tom Steyer, progressive for governor.
To test the toughness of the Kia Sorento X-Pro and the Kia Sorento Turbo Hybrid, we recreated some of the wettest springs, hottest summers, windiest falls, and coldest winters to prove these three-row SUVs were built for the unstoppable. Get 0% APR for up to 48 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on the purchase of a new 2026 Sorento.
At Precision Garage Door, there's nothing we can't fix. Broken spring, door stuck, no job too big or too small. And right now, we're offering a full garage door tune-up for only $69.95.
Precision Garage Door Service, the name you can trust.
1, 2, 3, 4. It's the spectacular return of Bruce Springsteen and the legendary E Street Band. Land event of Hope and Dreams American Tour. Live at Kia Forum, April 7th and 9th. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. An unforgettable night with Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. For more, visit BruceSpringsteen.net.
If you need cash now, there's money in your jewelry box. Sell to Kevin Jewelers, your trusted names. Why go anywhere else?
Kevin's gives a 50% bonus and 2 nights in Vegas.
Driving is what drives me. But when the day winds down, it's back to the daily drive. That's why I choose AAA Auto Insurance. Wherever the road leads, AAA is by my side.
Our in-depth coverage on Si Se Puede after Chavez continues now with a look at some stories that challenge the traditional narrative. And as CBS LA's Luz Delia Caballero explains, it's a complex legacy.
The farm worker movement would not have accomplished the things it did without Caesar, but Caesar would not have accomplished any of those things by himself either.
Ray Rast, the lead historian for the National Park Service's Cesar Chavez Special Resource Studies, says this moment isn't about erasing history, but rather broadening it.
If we think about not removing him from the story, but decentering him, then we can shift our focus to a lot of other people who have been waiting patiently for their stories to be told.
He explains that while Chavez's contributions are undeniable, the movement was never the work of one man alone, and he says his flaws were never entirely hidden.
There were always critics and opponents of Caesar and the farm worker movement who have past 50 years have emphasized his flaws, but by and large, people seeing him as a hero.
That reassessment is happening in classrooms too, where students are beginning to question what they've been taught.
This is a movement, it's not with a person. This movement continues as we continue to fight for immigrant rights.
Astrid Serrano says it wasn't until college that she realized the farm workers movement extended far beyond Chavez himself.
I do not believe that Cesar Chavez is the only sole hero that came out of the United Farm movements. There's a lot of other heroes that are also haven't had their light to shine.
For some families, that broader recognition is deeply personal.
I just want the world to know that my dad fought to make a difference.
Johnny Itliong's father, Larry, was a pioneer in the farm workers movement.
He was one of the many Filipino labor leaders that laid down the foundation for the civil rights labor movement.
But he says his dad's contributions were often overshadowed.
Cesar Chavez, Larry Leon, already 30 years of unionizing and organizing before he even met Chavez. He forced Chavez to join the Delano grape strike by telling him, if you break our strikes, we will break your strike.
In honor of that effort, a park has been named after Larry Itliong in Delano.
I want to write history, rewrite the history to reflect what really happened.
These reflections come in the context of the new allegations accusing Chavez of sexual abuse toward women, claims that are prompting renewed scrutiny of his legacy.
We believe women, we believe Dolores Huerta, and we believe survivors.
What do you see his legacy reflecting moving forward? Do you think it's tainted now? Do you think it's going to be wiped?
Tainted is not strong enough of a word.
As communities reflect on Chavez's impact, many say honoring farm workers today means recognizing the full story, both the achievements and the voices that have long gone unheard.
This is an opportunity to revise our understanding of Cesar Chavez, revise our understanding of the farm worker movement.
Luz Delia Caballero, CBS LA.
Well, let's get to next weather meteorologist Danny Roberti. And Danny, I hear we've got some possible rain coming tomorrow. We need it.
Yes, I know, Pat. It's just perfect because it's just a little bit of rain. It's not going to be too much, just enough to kind of wet the roads, get the garden singing here in Southern California. And then, you guys, we're drying out just in time for the weekend. But you can see behind me, things are already looking different outside. It's a mostly cloudy day here in Southern California. You can see lots of clouds through LA County, Orange County, into the Inland Empire. This is step one, mostly cloudy skies tomorrow. Let's add something else to the mix, a little bit of rain. It's not going to be a whole lot, but we haven't seen rain since the middle middle of February. And because of that, we've issued a next weather alert here in Southern California because this could make the road slick. And we haven't seen this in a month and a half. And that alert is for everyone here in Southern California. And this is going to be for Tuesday evening. It's not raining all day throughout the day tomorrow, but it's going to be popping up during the afternoon. And it's going to feel a whole lot different outside. Riverside yesterday, 94 whopping degrees. It was a scorcher out there. Going into tomorrow, it's going to feel about 20 degrees cooler out there. Highs in the mid-70s. So Tuesday cooler than today. We've got some light showers that'll move through Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday night. And then we're drying out midweek. We stay cool. Another warming trend kicks into gear, and we're gearing up for a beautiful Easter weekend. It's looking good for all the Easter egg hunts, whatever you have planned with the family. It's going to be a great weekend for it. But first, we've got this storm that's bringing us the rain, and that's leading to this big pattern change. So waking up tomorrow morning, late tonight, going into tomorrow, we've got mostly cloudy skies out there. And then you can see as I zoom things out, we've got some rain that's going to move through. It fizzles out once it gets to us, but you can see some of that rain developing Tuesday evening for the commute through Ventura County, making its way into LA County and Orange County. And it's going to be a cooler day. Temperatures in the 60s, mostly cloudy out there. And you can see those highs making their way into the 60s and 70s. A different story compared to last week. Let's go in depth on those temperatures because that really is going to be a big talker going into tomorrow. We were in the 90s in the Inland Empire this last weekend. Tomorrow, widespread 70s, 76 in Riverside. Come take a walk with me. We'll hit 71 in Ontario, 73 in Corona, and then we've got 60s and 70s west of the mountains, 69 degrees over into Santa Ana. Tomorrow is a next weather alert. We're done with that alert Wednesday, and you can see we warm up going into the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, we've got lower 80s out there. How beautiful for Easter weekend. Valleys will be in the low 70s. A warm up starts Thursday and Friday. We're back to the mid 80s this upcoming weekend, and finally in the Inland Empire, 70s Tuesday, Wednesday, again Thursday. This upcoming weekend, 10 degrees warmer out there. It's going to be good for all Easter egg hunts. It's going to be a beautiful Easter weekend, Pat.
Oh, that's an admirable forecast. All right. Thank you so much, Danny. A new holiday dedicated to farm workers, a tribute tonight honoring those agricultural heroes themselves. But first, Tony DeCopel with what's ahead tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Hey, Pat, here's what we're working on for the CBS Evening News tonight. The war in Iran, peace talks may be underway. That's what the Trump administration says. Iran denies it. What we know for sure is that people are feeling it back here at home. Gas prices up more than $1 since the war began, but that's just the beginning. We've got a full report on that. Also, Artemis, how excited are you about this? If they launch Wednesday as scheduled and the countdown begins today, it'll be the farthest human beings have traveled into space ever. All that and more coming up on the CBS Evening News. Back to you, Pat.
All right, I'm excited. Thanks so much, Tony. Catch the CBS Evening News tonight at 6:30. We'll be right back.
CBS LA Next Weather at 6 is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
What was that? Oops. My bad.
You wouldn't have a clown on your SWAT team. Just like you wouldn't have anyone but Morgan & Morgan handle your injury case. With over $30 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
We'll get them next time.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
This is Fubo. It's your way to watch ESPN and other top sports networks. Plus, get coverage of your local teams all year long. Start watching at FuboTV.com.
Buy and read Dianetics, the modern science of mental health. Discover how to rid yourself of stress and anxiety for good. Go to Dianetics.org/book. Order your copy now.
No. I'm in my own head.
What the heck are you talking about?
I think I got away with something that I shouldn't have. See that brand new Hyundai Santa Fe?
Yeah.
I only paid...
Finish that bucket on your own. Practice makes perfect.
Enjoy your new car.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
Feels so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Get 0% APR for 72 months, plus $5,000 bonus cash on the Hyundai Ioniq 5. See your SoCal Hyundai dealer.
The itch and rash of moderate to severe eczema disrupts my skin. Despite treatment, it's still not under control. Now I have Rinvoq, a once-daily pill that reduces the itch and helps clear the rash of eczema fast. Some felt significant itch relief as early as 2 days. and some achieved dramatic skin clearance as early as 2 weeks. Many saw clear or almost clear skin.
Rinvoq can lower ability to fight infections. Before treatment, test for TB and do blood work. Serious infections, blood clots, some fatal. Cancers including lymphoma and skin, serious allergic reactions, GI tears, death, heart attack, and stroke occurred. CV event risk increases in age 50 plus with a heart disease risk factor. Tell your doctor if you've had these events: infection, Hep B or C, smoked, are pregnant or planning. Don't take if allergic or have an infection.
Disrupt the itch and rash of eczema. See a head-to-head study of Rinvoq versus another treatment at rinvoq.com/see the data. Talk to your dermatologist if you're not doing well on your current pill or injection to see if Rinvoq is right for you.
This is a quest worth taking. On April 8th, Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel is leveling up your nostalgia by giving Club Serrano members the chance to win the final boss of collectibles, a 1986 factory-sealed cartridge classic valued at $160,000. No cheat codes necessary. You in? Only at Yamava Resort and Casino, celebrating its 40th anniversary.
CBS LA Sports at 6 is sponsored by Kia, the all-new Telluride X Pro, the all-star of off-road. Kia, movement that inspires.
Welcome to Sports in 0 to 60 here on CBS LA. Let's start things off with the Lakers. Luka Doncic will serve his one-game suspension tonight against the Wizards. He received his 16th technical foul of the season in Friday's win over the Nets. Now, with 2 consecutive days off for the first time since the All-Star break, Doncic and his teammates went golfing, which has become a regular activity for this team.
4 hours where you can shoot the proverbial SHI, whatever, and not have to be in a high-pressure moment or on a team bus and kind of be away from the facility. I think it's great.
Now, Roki Sasaki will get the start for the Dodgers tonight against the Guardians. Sasaki struggled throughout the spring training with a 15.58 ERA, 15 walks in 4 starts. Rams head coach Sean McVay confirmed reports today that the team held trade conversations involving wide receiver Davante Adams, but they ultimately decided against it. We're going to have plenty more to discuss tonight on Sports Central, but for now, Pat, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Jamie. And in the wake of controversy, we'll take a look back tonight as we reflect on the farm workers being honored with a new holiday.
The CBS LA Sports Report at 6 is sponsored by Kia, movement that inspires.
Get 0% APR for up to 48 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on the purchase of a new 2026 Sportage.
Anything that's wrong with America can be fixed by what's right in America. We are defined more by our shared values and our differences, and we're having a conversation about how.
We are Southern California.
We are Studio City.
We are Marina Del Rey.
We are Runyon Canyon.
We are Riverside.
We are CBS LA. We are yours.
New Nissan. You got to put it through its paces.
Hurry into the Nissan Now Sales event featuring Rogue, Pathfinder, and Frontier. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality. Get $3,500 to $6,000 total savings on select models.
I think California is at a crossroads right now. The rent is too high, healthcare is too high. I'm Assemblymember Isaac Bryan. I'm supporting Tom Steyer because he's delivered the most for California over the longest period of time, whether it's fighting for a fair criminal legal system, whether it's pushing back against attacks to the foundations of democracy, or calling for everybody to pay their fair share. Tom fought for free lunches for children in schools. He's going to fight to cut utility bills by 25%. He's going to ban corporate PAC money in politics. I want a governor who's going to fight fire with fire, and that fire is Tom Steyer.
If you need cash now, there's money in your jewelry box. Sell to Kevin Jewelers, your trusted names. Why go anywhere else?
Kevin's gives a 50% bonus and 2 nights in Vegas.
I remember the moment when the truck hit me. There was nothing I can do.
The driver here was clearly at fault,
But the insurance company kept saying, we're not going to pay.
We tracked down surveillance footage proving the driver was on his phone when he crashed. But even then, they kept saying,
they're not going to pay.
They're not going to pay. They're not going to pay.
But the Law brothers fought for me. And at the end, they paid.
Some repairs you don't see coming. Other repairs you can plan. RockAuto.com has parts for the expected and unexpected.
All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
New Nissan. You got to put it through its paces.
Hurry into the Nissan Now sales event featuring Rogue, Pathfinder, and Frontier. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality. Get $3,500 to $6,000 total savings on select models.
Stream everything UFC.
Are you not entertained?
Free with your Paramount Plus subscription.
We leave you tonight with black and white photographs from the spring of 1966. 60 years ago, striking farm workers marching nearly 300 miles from the fields of Central California to Sacramento, demanding better pay, safer working conditions, and recognition for their union, led by Cesar Chavez. But our focus tonight on this newly established holiday is not on the man, but on the movement and those who keep up the fight. Their message still resonating. Si se puede. Yes, we can. Thank you for joining us tonight at 6, live from downtown LA. The CBS Evening News is next, and we'll see you back here tonight at 11. In the meantime, everyone, have a good night.